Hi, I'm Rachel, and welcome to Music Theory Bootcamp. As one of the head music instructors at Medallion Music Studios, there's been one trend that I've noticed among young performers who come to study here at the studio. No one really knows how to read their music. That's a problem. Without knowing how to read your music, there's no way you can practice efficiently, or you can just get really lost. So I'm going to be teaching you in this video series about how to A, read your music, and B, how to apply it to various forms of musical activities such as practicing, or just so you just are a better educated human being. If you're not educated about music theory by the end of this, well then I tried. Here we go. Let's meet the staff. No, not that staff. This staff. Musical staff is used as a form of written instructions for musicians. It has 5 lines and 4 spaces. Each of these lines and spaces represents a musical pitch. When a musician reads the staff from bottom to top, it allows them to know the pitch. And if they read the staff from left to right, they are informed of which order they should play each pitch. Depending on the placement of each note, the staff also shows whether or not the pitch is a high pitch or a low pitch. For example, if I draw a series of circles, with each circle representing a musical note for the time being, the notes that are ascending up the staff represent higher pitches, while the circles that are headed down the staff represents lower pitches. High equals high, low equals low. Simple, right? Now if you notice how I have drawn each circle on the staff, you can see that each note can be found on either a line or a space. When a note is on the line runs through the middle of the note, and when the note is on the space, it sits between the staff lines. If a musician does not know which note to play and which order to play that note, they are pretty much out of luck. In order to know which note to play on each line and space, however, you first need to know the names of each note. This is solved through the use of our musical alphabet. Just like knowing the English alphabet teaches us which letters to use when spelling certain words, the musical alphabet teaches us which notes to use when trying to play a certain piece of music. The musical alphabet is very similar to the Western alphabet with a few minor alterations. In the regular alphabet, you'll learn that you start with the letter A and then continue down the list of letters until you arrive at Z. In the musical alphabet, this is not the case. While you do begin with the letter A, instead of continuing down the alphabet until you get to Z, you stop at the letter G. Once you get to G, you then start over at A and repeat. This can be shown with the help of the keyboard. Say hi, keyboard. Now watch as I start on the first note, which is A, and move up the keyboard on the white keys. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Every time you arrive at G, the alphabet always starts over at A. It's that simple. And that is the musical alphabet. Now here's the part of you where you should be saying, "That's great, Rachel, but I still don't know how to read music." Hold on, I'm getting to that. Introducing the clefs. A clef is a symbol on a sheet of music, often found at the beginning of the staff, that indicates the pitch of the written notes on the staff. The 2 clefs that we'll be focusing on today are the treble clef and the bass clef. The treble clef is a music symbol that signifies that the notes that are about to be played are going to be higher pitched notes. The bass clef signifies that the notes that are about to be played are going to be lower pitched notes. This can be easily shown by looking at a keyboard. If you look at the keyboard, you'll see a set of keys. Shocker, I know. The key in the middle of the board is what we call middle C. Treble and bass clef correspond with the keyboard, as you need to look at the left and to the right of middle C. Look to the right of middle C, you will see the upper range notes that are often found in the treble clef. If you go to the left of middle C, you will find the notes that correspond with the bass clef. In both the treble and bass clef, each line and space has a corresponding note name that represents a note that can be found on a musical instrument, such as the keyboard. In the treble clef, starting with the names of each line from bottom to top, we have E, G, B, D, and F. The spaces in the treble clef are F, A, C, and E. If you need something to help you remember this, for the lines, use the phrase, "Every good boy does fine." For the spaces, it's easier because the letters just spell out face, F-A-C-E. Easy enough, right? In the bass clef, the lines from the bottom to the top are the letters G, B, D, F, and A. The spaces from the bottom to top are A, C, E, and G. If you need to help remember this, just remember the phrases good boys do fine always, and all cows eat grass. Knowing this correlation between the musical alphabet and the lines and spaces of the treble and bass clefs is important because it allows musicians to know how to play their music. For example, if a note is placed on the bottom line of the bass clef, then the musician knows that the note is going to be a G because the note is on a G line. If a note is placed in the E space in the treble clef, then the musician knows that that specific note is going to be E because it's in the E space. We now know which notes are on which line and which space, how to play each note, and what notes are in the treble or higher pitched instruments, and then bass, which are lower pitched instruments. From the staff to the musical alphabet to the lines and spaces of the treble and bass clefs, we now have a full understanding of basic information that a musician needs to know in order to read their music. And that's all we have. Alright, that's all I have for you today. So if you have any questions, make sure to comment below. And if you want any notifications for any upcoming videos, I'll be posting every week. Make sure to like and subscribe and press the little notification bell. Bye!